How's everybody doing today? So I hope you're doing good. Welcome to Lifetime Angler if this is your first time checking us out. If it's not your first time, welcome back. So today we're going to dive into something a little bit different. We're going to continue on looking at the beginner fishermen. We've covered some knots, but today we're going to start covering hooks. We're going to go over the parts of the hook, a couple different types of hooks that you need to know as you're starting out. So it's going to be a great video if you're new into fishing or if you're a little bit of a geek like I am. I can sit down and break down and analyze just about anything, and it's enjoyable for me. But anyway, y'all, we're going to get into it. Here we go. Alright, folks, so welcome to my desk. Yes, it's a mess. No, you don't get to see the rest of it, but we're going to use this angle here to kind of go over the parts of a hook. We're going to start off up here. This is going to be your eye of the hook. This is where you feed your line through. Coming right down below that, this straight part here, I don't really know how to show that best to y'all. That's going to be the shank of the hook. Now you can have a long shank, or you can move into a hook like this that's a short shank. Now, going from there, you have the bend of a hook. And let's grab, this is going to be more of a traditional J hook. That's a typical bend. That's more of a bend you get with a circle hook or things like that. Now you have the point, which this is a circle hook, so that's bent in. Again, going to a J hook, you can see that that is straight on that. And then right behind the point, y'all can see that little bit sticking out there. That is the barb. Now, we're going to talk about a couple other things. The distance from this point to this shank, this is your gap. So this distance right here that my finger's in, that's the gap of a hook. Again, with that circle hook, this right here is what I consider the gap. Not this down here, but between the point and the shank. The other thing you can have, let me find one that has a good bit of it here. Yeah. Other thing you can have is an offset. And what that is if you notice, the point of this hook is not in line with the shank. There's a bend to it. Maybe this one will show. There you go. You can see that a little better. That point's sitting off from the shank. Now, offset's going to be good. It's going to help. It's going to help get more hookups, but you also have to be careful if you're using a circle hook. We'll talk about it later. To keep from gut hooking a fish, with an offset you will get more. Now, we'll touch real briefly on sizes. This is a number 8. Well, you can't even see it down. That's a number 8 Aberdeen hook. That's a number 4 treble. So, bare numbers, as they get larger, the hook gets larger. Now, where you got to pay attention is, well, and that's a number 2 to show you that. What you got to pay attention is this is a 3/0 hook. This right here is an 8/0 hook. Once you move past size 1, you go into aughts. Aughts, the bigger the hook, the bigger the hook, the bigger the number. And I said it backwards. Over here, the bigger the number, the smaller the hook. 4, 2, 3/0, 8/0. Now, in different manufacturers and hook types, hook sizes aren't all the same. Both of these are 3/0 hooks. But you can tell that this circle hook is just slightly smaller than this J hook. And with the point curved in, there's less gap there as well. So anytime you're using a circle hook, that's why a lot of times you'll be told to go up in size. I'm going to suggest most of you that, again, that's a 3/0. Most of the time, if you're minnow fishing, bait fishing, I'm going to recommend a number 2. If you're doing something bigger for, let's say, some average size catfish, a 3/0 is going to be fine. If you're throwing bass plastics, a 3/0 is a good place to start. Little bitty trout, panfish, things like that, this number 8's great. This 8/0, guys, I'm intending that for a catfish or striped bass. We're talking over 10 pounds there. You don't have to use a hook this big. I've caught 15-pound catfish off of a 3/0. But there's your parts. You kind of know what's going on. Also, I wanted to mention, if you notice on this one, it has this little wire bit here. This is just a weed guard, so you can have that. This one here will show you that eye is just bent back. It's angled back a little bit. You can have that on some of them. And then, I mean, that's just a crappie jig head, but all that is just a J hook with the eye coming at a right angle and some lead molded around it. So guys, they come in all shapes, sizes, different colors and things, but there's your basics, and let's go ahead and let's talk about a few. Alright, so now we're all familiar with the parts, the terminology, all of that. What I want to do now is I want to introduce 3 of the main types of hooks that you're going to find when you go out fishing or go into a tackle shop, anything like that. It's going to be your traditional J hook, which is what everybody thinks of when they think about a fishing hook. Treble hook, and a circle hook. So we'll start right here with the J hook. Like I said, traditional hook that everybody knows. Your shank comes straight down, bend, points out. You can have an eye that's bent, an offset or not. You can get them with a little bit of an offset on the point, like I've got here. What it's good for? It's good for if you don't know what to use. It's good for if there's not a specialized hook out there for that, or you don't have a specialized hook out there for it. You're going to find different variations off of that are going to be used for a lot of lure fishing. If you're using soft plastics and things of that nature, it's going to be great if you want to rig up a worm and go catch some bluegill. Matter of fact, that's what we did this last Saturday. So it's a good all around. You can do live bait, you can do dead bait, chunked bait, you can do lures, whatever you want with it. I'm going to get this out of the way. It's not a perfect hook, there's flaws, but guys, there's no such thing as a perfect hook. If you're looking for a perfect hook, go ahead, get off the video. I'm not going to tell you there's one, because there isn't. I won't lie to you. Anyway, moving right along, treble hook. This is going to be another hook that, man, when it comes to lures, you're going to see a lot of. Basically what you have here is 3 J hooks that get put together, and now you got 3 points. Personally, I'm not that big of a fan of them. I don't like fishing with treble hooks when I don't have to, because there's 3 times as much crap for me to get poked with. I'm clumsy, so they're great though. If you're running crankbaits, if you're running spoons, if you're topwater lures, and then again into the bait fishing. If you're doing any prepared bait, if you're doing power baits, stink baits, dough baits, anything like that, a treble hook does wonderful. Something I actually want to get at, I ain't done in a while. We'll use regular biscuit dough, pack a little ball around it, and we'll go carp fishing with it. They tear it up, and it's a cheap bait. We need to do a video on that. Anyway, moving along from there. So, well, recap, treble hook, use it when you're using a hard bait or when you're using a prepared bait. Hard lure, I guess I should say. Lure, artificial, bait, it's not art. Well, anyway, we're going to keep going. I'm going to get myself in trouble with all of that. Last one's probably going to be my favorite. It's a circle hook. The big difference with the circle hook, you're going to have a little bit different bend from a J hook, and that point's going to come back and curve inward. It's not there, it's right there. Now, the beautiful thing about a circle hook is you don't set the hook. Instead, what you do is that fish takes it and you just reel your slack in. And as you do, that hook is going to catch the corner of the mouth. It's going to rotate and it's going to penetrate itself. I ain't doing any more than that because that'll hurt. But it's wonderful if you're trying to do a lot of catch and release fishing and you don't want to gut hook a fish. That's a great deal for it. Me personally, even if I'm not doing catch and release, I don't like hooking a fish. I don't like having to fight to get the hook out from all the way in their gut. I don't like cutting it and having to tie a new hook and just get my hook back when I clean the fish. So I'm a fan of circle hooks. Circle hook you're not going to use a lot with an artificial lure. You're going to use those more with baits, whether it be dead cut bait or it is a live whole bait. But that's going to be it. Guys, that's going to be a basics. There's 100 different types of hooks. I mean, you can get into a worm hook that I use for bass fishing. There's you another J hook just with a short shank, little drop shot hook. Octopus hook, which is kind of a hybrid between a J hook and a circle hook. You got kale hook, shiner hook, whatever you want to call it. You get in Aberdeen hook is basically a J hook with just a long shank. Alright y'all, I'm going to cut the video off there. Real quick, I'm going to sum up what I was rambling on. I'm going to go ahead and create a playlist starting with this video. What I need y'all to do is go down into the comments. Anything you want to know, any questions you have hook related, put those in the comments. I'm going to use those as well as the ideas that I've already got to go ahead and continue to make these videos. Other than that, y'all hit the like button, subscribe, stay tuned, because we're going to go over quite a bit with these. Until next time, y'all stay safe and tight lines.